All right, guys, and welcome in to another episode of Wagers on Campus College Football 2025. We are single digit days away from meaningful college football, and we cannot wait to kick back and collect on another very profitable season because it's the Futures episode, folks. What's up, guys? I'm Mayor, and I am here with Burns, and we are breaking down our season futures today for the 2025 college football season. Before we get into that, Burns, good to see you. And what do you think of this futures episode?
Wow, dude, I am so excited. This is probably my favorite episode of the season because we just did so damn well last season. So, and you just love, you get a little ahead of your skis, maybe. You just see so many bets out there. And oh man, it's just like when your parents let you get free reign in the candy shop or wherever the hell they had sweets, like a fudge shop on a vacation. Just can't decide which one you want to pick. So yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna cover a lot, and I'm really excited to talk about them.
yeah, me too. We're going to share our opinions on the best angles to approach when betting futures for this season. Burns is going to talk about some of his favorite player bets, and I got a couple of Heisman plays as well, and a very special parlay to close us out for today. So make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe if you haven't. We're going to be talking college football all season long. We're going to be breaking down every single week in terms of games, sides, angles. Burns was profitable last year. I was profitable last year. We've been profitable on this podcast for we started 2 years ago, and we have been profitable 2 years in a row. So appreciate all your support. Hopefully you can learn and enjoy these episodes with us and make a little money in the meantime. But Burns, where should we start kicking this off?
Yeah, I think as always, just what's in the news. The landscape of college football is always changing week to week, and there's a few things that we need to figure out, especially when it comes to these futures. We've got a couple quarterback battles that are still neck and neck, and Notre Dame news just came out today that Kevin Minchie is inching ahead of CJ Carr, which is a little bit of a surprise, and it's been reflected in Vegas already as both quarterbacks' futures to win the Heisman are neck and neck at 50-1 now, and Carr had a significant advantage in that field. So if you already placed that bet, already losing money on that. So hopefully, kind of waited to see there, didn't bet on the wrong pony, but yeah, I'm interested if that affects your outlook on Notre Dame. We're not really going to have an independent episode. So, yeah, just that news out of camp. It was a little surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much to weigh on that specifically with Notre Dame and the quarterback battle kind of being up for grabs at the moment. But this is the year, Burns, where it feels like to me, this is the year of quarterback transitions with some of the major power schools across college football, whether it's Notre Dame, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Oregon. Um, I'm sure I'm missing some other ones as well. Um, just kind of question marks around the position because we haven't seen these guys play all that much. So I can't really remember a season off the top of my head that there's been this many quarterback questions with some of the best teams in college football, and not even traditionally, but just best teams in college football just in the last year or the last 2 years.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, and obviously, it's not only transfers, it's first year starters. And that's the craziest part when we're evaluating futures is, man, all we got is like high school tape. And we got, for Arch, we got a few, what do you play, like fucking East Texas, Tennessee, or East Texas Tech
yeah,
or something was his start that he got, and obviously had a few arch packages for him, but tough to evaluate a full season. Yeah, I agree. It's but both. representatives in the national title last year, transfers. But they were also guys that were in like a grad transfer situation, had been successful in their role, kind of got inched out for the next man up. And I guess Leonard was more of looking for a Fultz to a national championship contender, and Howard was more the one vaulted out of there. But yeah, we'll see. I think we're going to be okay with a lot of the transfers and first year starters, just from all the information we get. No really true freshman starters. So outside of potentially Michigan, but I don't think that's the route they're going to take week one, to be honest.
Yeah. And then speaking of transfers, your boy, John Mateer, made some headlines. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, man, this is pretty crazy. We didn't talk about this offline, so I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. Maybe I'm a little biased. This is weird. It was weird when I was catching it live. It broke at like 11 p.m. It was late, and I was just refreshing Twitter and making sure it wasn't fake. He ended up deleting all his transactions. You know what? I truly think it's just guys being dudes, just sending dumb shit as an 18-year-old. And it could have been a video game. It could have been code word for fucking anything. Like they could have been fucking around during that game and just like had an inside joke about it. And it was obviously stupid to label it sports gambling with two teams. But like a bunch of the other stuff around it was like gay stuff and like literally quotations, gay stuff. And like, I don't know. I just think it was harmless, legitimately, and he will be found innocent on all counts.
I hope so. I mean, I definitely don't want to see him miss time because of, this whatever the fuck this is from 3 years ago. But I mean, I think it's probably legit in some capacity, whether it was a $20 wager or whatever. I mean, it's pretty black and white what the Venmo is for. And I don't know what kind of code word it could be for. But I mean, you're right. It could be anything. We have no idea. But if I had to guess, I would say it's legit. That he was, betting on the game. But whatever. It was 3 years ago. Things were way different for him and for college football landscape as a whole. I mean, gambling had just become legal 3 years ago in many states. So let's just move on, like, let's just move on. Like who cares really? That's kind of how I feel about it.
I agree. And, definitely want to bury some of these trolls that have literally no life. The message board mutants were probably the ones that found this, that have nothing going on in their lives besides college football. And it's even more sinister than that. Like, so you have to think it gets so obsessive. They don't even care about the game. Like, it's just more about their university and fucking over someone else. Because who has the time or even the brain to think to go to Venmo and scroll 3 years back and like to just scroll and scroll and scroll? It's weird, and it's going to continue to separate the players from the fans if people continue to do this. So they need to really fucking cut it out, you mutants.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if you're a fan, it's always that fine line, right? Of like wanting to see the best players on the field. Like, even if you're going up against an Oklahoma, like if you're a fan of Texas, don't you want Mateer out there? Wouldn't you rather face Mateer and Oklahoma's best than like their backups? And I understand arguments for both sides, but I don't know, man. Like, you're really possibly trying to ruin the life of a kid just because you're a Texas fan or, whatever example you want to talk about. It's like they have
Yes.
nothing better to do. They're just losers,
Yeah, exactly. I agree, Alex. Get these losers out of our game.
Right.
They can
Speaking
find
of,
a better hobby and actually come bet for real.
did you see the video that Beeve on X posted of Mateer, and it was clearly AI, and the
Oh
announcer
yeah.
the announcer on the sideline was like, "Great game, John." He's like, fuck that. Did Miami of Ohio cover the 5.5?
Yeah. Yep. That was classic. And the over AI, he was wearing a helmet and carrying a helmet. I
Yep,
don't know if you caught that.
I
But
did.
yeah, scary stuff. But a little goofing around makes you feel a little bit better about it. I
It
don't.
gives me a chuckle every time I watch that video. Truly.
But I don't expect anything to happen from that. I truly don't. I think all parties involved, SEC, Oklahoma, they're good with this.
I mean, if Otani can blow up real estate deals and gamble millions, why can't Mateer bet $25 on a game from 3 years ago?
He just needs a translator, dude. No English. No English.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
future time.
Future time. Sure.
Yeah, for all the new listeners and watchers, I think we should. I pulled up last year's futures with the results, and yeah, I think that'd be a good starting point. And this is easily findable in our media section of our Twitter. I'll also be including a Google Doc, view only for you weirdos, with all the clickable links to all of our picks because we are always promoting free advice and free winnings because it's always better to shove it to the book as a team than just individually. So this is our last year's week 0 futures uh, graphic that we put out. Mary, you want to just go through it a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, week 0, whatever. It's not really relevant to this discussion, but futures, yeah, I mean, you guys can see it as you're looking here. Our big hit, of course, was Travis Hunter to win the Heisman at 50-1. Burns had Travis Hunter, and when you hit a 50-1 bet, I hope you're going to be profitable if you have a full card in addition to that. But like when you look at some of the other bets, who did I have? I had Jackson Dart as my Heisman pick. It had some life. It had some life for a little bit of the season. Then Ole Miss went and lost to Kentucky. But yeah, let's see. I mean, I don't think we need to rehash this too much. But I mean,
No,
yeah, I mean,
Ohio
you guys.
State, 4-1. I mean, across the board, we ended up positive on our seasons. I went 5-5. Our old co-host Nate, 2-1, I think, 3-1. Yep, and then Mayor with a 1-2-1. So we were all in all above as a cumulative podcast, and then with Ohio State 4-1 as well. That's
Nice.
54 units right there coming in. Yeah, I mean, you go back and listen. Mayor was a little bit more tentative preseason. Definitely wanted to wait before getting any futures. That's why he kind of laid off the Heisman. But let me tell you, this boy came ready to show his nuts right on the table. He came locked and loaded with a full card that I think everyone's going to be pretty impressed with. And we will get right into that one. Let me close this out and bring that up. And there it is.
There it is. Alex Mayer's 2025 college football futures card. Yeah, so I got Nebraska, dude, over 7.5. I got -135. I think I checked FanDuel prior to recording this, and on FanDuel I saw -164. So I'm not sure if you can get better odds elsewhere. But yeah, man, I know I've talked to you about this a little bit. If not now, when? If not now, never for Nebraska.
Yeah.
At least that's what it feels like in this era, specifically with Rule and Raiola. Last year, dude, I kind of felt like they were taking the training wheels off, and the expectation wasn't to make the college football playoff, but it was to like look significantly better and make improvements. And I'm not even sure if they met that bar, to be honest with you, but they did improve. Like They played Ohio State very competitively. They lost a close game to Illinois at home in overtime, I believe. All that to say, I think the Big Ten is gettable. Obviously, you have your top dogs, but the rest of the conference is super gettable. Nebraska should have a good defense. I expect Raiola to make improvements in his second year as a starter. I expect Rule to be more comfortable as the coach, specifically with Raiola. Over 7.5, man. If they cannot do it this year, I don't know when they can do it. I feel pretty good about that bet.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally understandable. And we're actually recording this before we record the Big Ten podcast that will be out on Friday. So you would have already listened to the Big Ten podcast by the time this one comes out. But yeah, I mean, listen, they have some winnable games. Obviously, a very favorable opening. We like them over Cincinnati, but they could. We also like Cincinnati, but Akron, Houston Christian, and then they get Michigan at home. They get USC at home. They play some of the lesser Big Ten teams right now, such as Michigan State, Maryland, Northwestern. Sorry, Mayor. But yeah, I think this team is right there. 7 is their floor, and I think 10 is their ceiling.
I see it the same. My second pick, Oklahoma, over 7.5 at plus 110 on FanDuel. What more can you say? John Mateer, Jaden Knott, a defense that has very, very high expectations, and a head coach who is known for defense. I think Oklahoma is tired of being irrelevant over these last couple of years for a program that has such high expectations and such a history of winning and putting out good football on the field. I think the hype in Norman this year is extremely high, but I think the team will rise up and meet and exceed those expectations. I truly do. Mateer is such a good quarterback. I like their coach. I like their defense. They have a very strong home field advantage, as we saw late in the season last year when they started to play a little bit better. They beat Alabama on that Saturday night, led by their defense. Oklahoma over 7.5 wins. I love this play. I think it smacks.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, with both of these, you're parlaying them into season-long bets too, as we'll see kind of throughout your card here posted. Man, tough to look at this number with a plus sign and not be all over it. They do have one of the harder schedules as of today when it comes to looking ahead, and that's why that number is so low. I mean, they've just have an absolutely brutal end to their schedule. But other than that, we had them pegged at 10-2. So when you got two guys in agreement getting two game buffer at plus money, I mean, that's something we just have to take.
Yeah. And then my final pick was Buffalo out of the MAC, over 7.5 wins. This pick, when we did our MAC preview, Toledo seemingly clearly was the number one team in that conference, and Buffalo seemed to be number 2, number 3 at the worst. And just kind of based off some of the players that they have on the all-conference teams, when we broke down the first team, the second team, the third team, Buffalo had a lot of representation. And I also just think that the MAC in general is possibly a little down this season. So I think Buffalo has a real good shot to build on last year and clear this number. My smallest play in terms of win totals, but you were on my ass about loving Buffalo on that MAC preview show that we did. So I said, you know what? I'm putting it on the season futures.
All right, man. All right. Yeah, you love just talking about men being on your ass. That's an honorable thing of you. No, but you are right. listen, they're going to have 4 easy wins. They got the 3 bottom dwellers, Akron, UMass, and Kent State. And then they also have St. Francis, who's moving to D3. So that's 4. So the other 8 games, they have to go 4-4 to hit this number. I think this is a really good bet. Probably add it to my card. Yeah, I mean, it's a good spot by you. And yeah, I mean, we had them at 9 wins in our max show. So again, I think you're going to see the theme is the games that ended up hitting our cards were, first of all, had more than 1 game buffer on what we expected from their preseason outlook. And then 2, have to be bettable. Because some of these lines, it's a little tougher to find college football lines. Please shop your books, are like minus 185. And that's simply not worth a wager for 4 months. No matter how confident you are, I would highly recommend going alternate lines. But some books don't give game by game. They just like jump up 2 or 3 games, and sometimes that's exactly it. Or maybe even look for an exact win total if you're looking to get some money or some value out of your preseason look ahead.
Yeah, I think FanDuel has, you can pretty much name your win total as far as like 6+, 7+, 8+, 9+. So if you're interested in a team, you might want to look on FanDuel if you have access to it. Moving on to make the playoff. I'll keep this rather quick because obviously this is just, opinions in August. And everyone has opinions in August, especially with teams to make the playoffs. But LSU at plus 116 for 1 unit. No, I'm not putting 5 units on this. I know LSU plays in a tough conference. But we've talked about this, Burns. We like LSU. We like their offense. We think their defense is going to be improved. We like the personnel that they have. We feel like that they're going to come into this year with a chip on their shoulder. And I think there's just overall a bias to the SEC in general. I know, shocking hot take there. But LSU damn near made the freaking playoffs last year, and they weren't even that good. So I think LSU gets in this year. So I'm willing to put a unit down at plus money. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, just it's on my card as well. It's interesting, which is, like you said, so much questionable quarterback play in the entire country. Not really a clear favorite like there was really last year, just kind of few teams head and shoulders above everyone else. And maybe you can argue Texas, but a lot of these big names are trying out some new things. So I'd like LSU with that plus number.
Yeah, and then my next pick is Oklahoma. We put plus 470 on the graphic. I think you can find them at better odds on some other books. I believe I saw them plus 550 on DraftKings, I think. But I'm risking a unit and a half on Oklahoma at the best number I can get to make the playoff. Look, I understand, this isn't picking Clemson to beat Wake Forest straight up in week 3. Like, I understand this is still a 5-1 type of play, if not more. But as you guys know, I'm just high in Oklahoma this year. And I think if they reach their maximum potential, that the playoffs is very much in play for them, especially, again, just being in the SEC, where I think the bias will be favored to their side, especially if they go out and put together a strong season. I mean, guys, remember South Carolina last year, they came out in the second half of the year and people were clamoring to get them in the playoff. And it damn near happened. So I don't think this is much of a long shot as maybe some would think at first glance. So I'm willing to, take a big swing here and swing for the fences, Oklahoma, to make the playoff.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And then you have Nebraska too. Your other win total, just parlaying it.
Yeah, exactly. I got Nebraska as well. Probably feel a little less confident in Nebraska than I do Oklahoma. But nonetheless, I still like the value. So I'm taking a shot with Nebraska. And then my final 2 picks, Georgia Tech, half unit plus 730 on FanDuel. That's another team that we've talked a lot about on this podcast. Haynes King and Brent Key and just the rest of that squad. We also think they have a fairly favorable schedule. Georgia Tech has a huge game against Clemson early on in the season, but all in all, we like the upset. We like the upside of this Georgia Tech team, and it wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me if they have an Indiana-esque type year and make the playoffs. So in on Georgia Tech. And then North Carolina. Come on, Burns, for Bill. Hell, the first time we went through North Carolina's schedule, what did we have them at? Like 11-1 or something outrageous. I think we ended up going back and giving them a couple losses. But guys, when you look at North Carolina's schedule, it is truly cupcake-ish. It's about as cupcake as you can get for being a power school. And if it all comes together with, some people would say the greatest coach in NFL history, guys, Carolina, to make the playoff? I mean, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not, Bill?
No, that's a good call out. Yeah, losing a player like Omarion Hampton, who might start week 1 and the next level, is going to be tough to replace. But they also have they have 2 options at quarterback. Where last year Max Johnson gets hurt week 1, whole season's fucked. Now you have Gio Lopez and Max Johnson. 2 different guys. Gio is obviously a lot more agile, but they're going to have a good defense. Bill's going to have them ready to go. I like that a lot. It's just the only thing that concerns me. And it's 15-1, right? It's not like it's, putting the bankroll on it.
Yeah.
It's just like this narrative about SEC and Big Ten gobbling up 4 slots each and then just leaving basically nothing left for everyone else. So I just hope it doesn't go that way.
Yeah, me too. We just want to see who the teams that pass the eye test the most, should get in, whatever conference that is. As far as winning the SEC title or just winning conference titles in general, I only have one bet. It's LSU to win the SEC at plus 600. I've talked enough about LSU. I'm high on them. I think they're going to be really good. And at 6-1, I'm willing to put a unit on it. It's really that simple. As far as Heisman picks go, my top 3, pretty chalky. Klubnik from Clemson at 9-1. Nussmeier from LSU also at 9-1, and John Mateer, Oklahoma, 25-1. I'm putting a unit on each guy. Everyone's a quarterback. Clemson, man, if they can beat LSU to start the season, I'm really high on them, and I think they have a great team around Klubnik, so I like that bet. I think 9-1 is actually fairly decent value as well for someone who I really do believe is the favorite to win it. And then Nussmeier and Mateer, both really good quarterbacks. I see a path for both of them. And then as far as some long shots go, Miller Moss, LSU, the guy can sling it. His first ever game was a bowl game against Louisville. Now he plays for Louisville. But his first game, I think he threw 6 or 7 touchdowns in the Holiday Bowl. This guy knows how to throw the football. And Louisville has been a team on the up and up, especially offensively over the last couple of years. So I'm willing to take a dart throw on Miller Moss. Same thing with Raiola at Nebraska, just a dart throw at 65-1. Haynes King, same thing at Georgia Tech, 65-1. Morton from Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech, everyone knows how much money they spent in the offseason this year and how many players they acquired. I do see a possible scenario where Texas Tech is just really, really good. and Morton is leading that charge. So I do think it is a possibility that Morton could win the Heisman. But again, I'm just sprinkling a quarter unit at 80-1. And then Kyron Drones at 150-1 for Virginia Tech. Burns is going to tell me that Vanderbilt will beat Virginia Tech in week 2, and that will be toast. But look, Kyron Drones, when I saw him in Nashville last year, Burns, he looks like Jalen Hurts. He might not play like Jalen Hurts, but he looks like Jalen Hurts. So
sure,
if he can just match the talent with his appearance, maybe he can win the Heisman. So I said, you know what? Sure, we'll put a couple pennies on him.
Sure, who cares? It's just money, right?
Exactly.
The absolute glory that would come with hitting that would be far worth the losing the 2/10 or 2/10 of the unit.
100%. Do you have any thoughts on my Heisman picks?
I've got two of the same at the top, Nussmeier and Mateer. Other than that, I've got a couple really long shots, but we had a 50-1 hit last year. It feels like the Heisman market is usually pretty top heavy when it comes to winning. So you're not going to find much true value going deep down the board. It's just usually how it works out individually. And so just buyer beware on this particular future.
Yeah. And then for the Natty, I mean, if you guys have been staring at this graphic, and listening to us for the last 15 minutes, you see it's all crossover from the teams I've talked about. Clemson to win it for a unit, LSU for a half unit, Oklahoma for a half unit, Texas Tech, sprinkle, Nebraska, sprinkle. Yeah, I mean, I'm high on all five of these teams. Gun to my head, I do think Clemson has the best shot out of those five. Not surprisingly, they have the best odds. But I don't know, Burns. I might add Texas to my card as well to win the Natty, because when I went through my college football playoffs prior to recording here, I did have Texas taking on Clemson in the final. So I might add Texas, but dude, I just don't like the odds. That's really just what it comes down to. Do I really want to bet Texas to win the whole thing at whatever they are, 5-1, 6-1? I don't know. So, anyway, those are my futures.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we judge our landscape, breaking down all the other conferences, do you think that this is another year? I mean, last year we had one undefeated team at the end of the regular season. Do you think this is a year where no undefeated teams make it out of the regular season?
Oh God, dude. I mean, I don't see anyone going undefeated in the SEC. I could see Clemson doing it. Obviously, they got to win every game. I was going to say they got to get by LSU, but I really see a possible path for Clemson. I don't know, man. That's a tough question. I'm going to say yes, there is an undefeated team, but it's a tough question. I don't know.
Yeah, when I think about it, it's like, who is going to rise to the top out of all these, like, because they've scheduled it pretty well with these big conference realignments. And, if you're thinking to yourself, you really like one side or the other on Ohio State, Texas week one or LSU, Clemson, I think for LSU would be the only of those four that you might see some noticeable difference in the national championship odds. But those are definitely cooked in already. Like, you're not going to get all of a sudden Ohio State 12-1 to win the Natty if they lose week one. So keep that in mind when you're betting. That it's probably going to be very similar. Maybe one of those teams will drop to plus 750. Maybe get you a little more juice because you're in a position where you can only probably lose one more game. But just keep that in mind for those top teams since you brought that Texas wager up.
Yeah, for sure, dude. All right, Burns. Curious to see what your futures look like. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
absolutely.
you made a sexy little graphic for yourself.
Yep, you're gonna notice it looks pretty similar.
What kind of beer are you drinking in that graphic? Did we ever come to a final conclusion?
It's probably an Oberon. It's a great sipping beer. I brought it on the show a couple weeks ago.
I'm just coming back from a family trip to Wisconsin up in the North Woods, and Leinenkugels has an original beer, which I did not know until this last trip. Leinenkugels, known for making their summer shandy. It's very popular. Many people like the summer shandy beer that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Leine's has an original, and it's a Pilsner, and it is just absolutely delightful.
That's good to hear. I hammered a couple summer shandies at the weekend concert on Tuesday.
Oh, dude, your seats looked pretty good.
Oh, they were good. 4 people away from him. Yeah, that was nice. All right, digging into mine. Obviously, I like to dig into the win totals a little bit more, and I did my best to find as much plus money. Once again, just hammering this home. This bet will be tied up, especially if you are in the legal business. Most of them for the unders will not pay out until the end of the season. Sometimes with the overs, if they get like 2 wins over, they're over. Like say the Vandy, if Vandy gets to 8 wins, they might cash that one out for you. But you're going to be sitting on this bet for until December. So, like I said, don't worry about tying it up minus 150 or more. We're going to go ahead and find some plus money. So we already dove in. I love Oklahoma as well, but a few down here at the bowl eligible level: Middle Tennessee and Vanderbilt. 2 driving distance from me. Over 6 wins. Middle Tennessee is plus 150, Vanderbilt plus 130, respectively. We talked a lot about how Middle Tennessee is basically, they're just going to go out there in pennies, like the pennies you put on when you split up teams. Like they slashed their entire apparel budget to go out and buy some dudes, some players. And they invested in some players. They got 4th-year starter, veteran. Listen, Derek Mason as a coach is just a great ball coach. So I expect a lot out of Murfreesboro. I think 6 wins is very doable. That can be it. And that's over 5.5. So getting to 6 cashes. So that should be 6 plus. That's my fault there. And then Vanderbilt the same. I'm just so invested in this team. Emotionally and financially, I think I really weighed a 8+ win bet too. That might make the week 1 graphic or week 0 graphic. And then Tulane. I think with the Bayou Jew coming in, I think it's going to be significantly large upgrade to a very gettable schedule ahead of them. I think Tulane at plus money is I think it's a travesty. We have them at 10 wins for the season, so we're spotting you an extra win. I think this is a really good one that right there below Oklahoma's second largest. So what do you think about my overs there? One of them's the same as yours, but the other 3 were making a face.
I think Bayou Jew is an unreal name. I mean, not only does it rhyme and tie in the Bayou with New Orleans and Louisiana, but Bayou, BYU, that's insane.
Yeah, Bayou too. Say goodbye to them.
Oh, just
What is it, like
levels.
quadruple entendre?
There's levels to this shit. MTSU, I mean, good luck. You know, I used to work with a couple guys who played for MTSU, and they're good dudes. So I'm hoping that this team is successful, but I don't have much to add. Vandy, look, they have a special place in my heart too. When they beat Alabama last year and everyone flooded the streets of Broadway, it was like something out of a movie. It was magical. Pavia is back for another year at quarterback. The head coach, like you say, he's a motivator. He will not take no for an answer. I like the attitude and the culture that Vanderbilt is building over there. I love that play. I mean, Vanderbilt's freaking awesome. They just play in a very hard conference. In Tulane, dude, I mean, they're just a winning program. They've continued to establish that. Now, look, are they going to beat Northwestern in week 1? It's a tough challenge. And you think I'm kidding, but I'm not. But overall, Tulane's a good squad. And at plus money, hey, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then my unders, another one just reiterating since the line hasn't moved since our July 4th. Ohio, listen, Bobcat fan here. A lot of people we know and love are Bobcat supporters, but they open up Rutgers, West Virginia, Ohio State. Read an article this week. West Virginia did the same thing Georgia did last year here at Vandy. A bunch of their fans just bought up a bunch of Ohio University season tickets because it was cheaper than doing the resale of because Morgantown is about, I want to say, about 2 hours away from Athens, Ohio. So it's going to be packed with Mountaineers there in the stadium. It's already announced sold out. So I don't know if they can steal one from one of those three teams, and then all of a sudden you can only afford to lose one more game to go 8-4. I think they dropped 2 in the MAC, and that's just the only reason I'm on there. Under UMass, I just don't see whether it be whether or not they are a better team in the MAC is yet to be seen. Even though it's a down year, under 3.5 at plus money, I like. They're just not a good football team. A couple of years away, and then Michigan under 8.5. I mean, this is an offense that basically couldn't push the sled past the 50-yard line if no one was lining up against them last year. You're telling me that a true freshman is going to come in and change that when they have obviously a tough schedule this year. They have to go to Oklahoma. You got to go to USC, go to Little Brother. Ohio State comes to them this year, but same with Wisconsin, Washington, as you heard us talk about now, since you've already listened to the Big Ten. It's going to be a sneaky, dangerous team. So I say under at plus money. This team is a 7-win team in my mind.
I think their ceiling is 9. I could see them getting to 9. I could also see them landing at 7 or 8. But my favorite bet of yours is Ohio. You make a very good, compelling case for Ohio. I agree. I don't think they're going to win any of those first 3 games. And then to only have margin for error for one other loss in conference play, I don't love that for them. I think that's a really good pick.
Yeah. Yep. So those are my win totals right now. Might sneak in a couple more. You'll see it in the week 0 graphic, but a little different route, kind of the same. It only took 3 teams to make the playoffs. I just wanted to go long shots here. I like the LSU bet, but we'll see. I have a couple other LSU bets tied up. So Georgia Tech, we talked about them. Tulane, I think they have the capability of being the group of 5 team here at plus 800. I think Boise's definitely going to drop Notre Dame. It will depend on how they look in that game. If they get their doors blown off and they have an extremely weak schedule outside of that, Tulane could possibly get in over them as a 2-loss team, let alone an equaling 1-loss team. And then Iowa. Iowa is a team that,
Whoa.
if we're talking about the Big Ten getting 4 teams in, you heard our breakdown again, just harping back on the Big Ten breakdown. This is a team that, coaching is never an issue. Defense is never an issue. They have some faith in a quarterback, but replacing Caleb Johnson, it's 9-1 for a reason. We like it a little bit. And then this bet I saw on DraftKings, you can bet the number 1 seed. Obviously, you're not going to go wrong with the potential SEC champion or Big Ten champion. I think LSU wins the SEC. I think that grants them the number 1 overall seed. And so I'm going to have a little 16-1 ticket on LSU number 1 seed.
So Burns, Are you telling me you like LSU to go into Clemson week 1 and win on the road?
I think they could still get the number 1 seed with the loss there and win out. And Clemson, I still have dropping 2 games after that.
Fair. Who do you got in that
So
game? Right
I
now.
have LSU. You have Clemson. It's our first.
Dude, I don't know if I'm gonna be on Clemson. I don't know. It's such a good game.
Yeah, that's fair. And then the rare no. I found plus money in the no category. No to Bama.
Oof.
I already made it. My point of emphasis here, my hot take of the season. Kalen DeBoer is out as coach at the end of the year. Bama misses the playoff again. And you're sitting with plus 145 ticket.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. Any questions about the playoffs there, Alex?
No.
Good. Yeah.
What are you, my teacher?
Nussmeyer and Mateer already harped on those with yours as well. I really like Nussmeyer, to be honest. If I had to pick one player to win the Heisman this year, it's just all the talent around him at the wide receiver position. I'd say it's his to lose with that offense. Damon Williams out of Washington. Extremely interesting, sitting at 4-1, or I'm sorry, 100-1. Washington has a sneaky schedule where they can kind of disrupt. They get Ohio State at home in like this weird game, week 5. And if he's able to get like a signature win over like an Ohio State, they also play Michigan on the road, like a road Michigan game. And then the final game of the year would be hosting Oregon. I think it's a worth 100-1 sprinkle.
Yeah, I've heard at least one other person in the media very high on Damon Williams and think he's going to be a stud.
Yeah, for sure, man. And Pavia, of course, he just reminds me so much of Johnny Manziel. That Manziel won with 3 losses. We talked about on an earlier show that it is possible to win the Heisman. I mean, Travis Hunter last year, 3 losses regular season. So it's possible to win the Heisman and not be on the best team in the country. Same with Lamar Jackson. Like, it's doable. So Pavia, if Vanderbilt can somehow get to 9 wins in the SEC, not in the SEC, but 9-3, and he's got a couple notches on his belt, like a win at Alabama, that'd be worth 150. And then Caleb Downs. We had a 2-way player go last year. Ohio State's got the best 2 players in the country on the same team. He started to return punts last year. He's obviously not going to be going both ways receiving the ball, but if he really starts to insert himself into special teams, we'll see. 200-1. It's like same thing I said earlier. It would be incredible for our notoriety to have that given out. But do I actually think it could win? No, probably not.
Yeah, man. I mean, I like your list. Some notables, I guess, that we left off, not for both of us combined. I mean, I'm sure people are, for the folks that are listening, they're like, "Where's DJ Lagway? Where's Marcel Reed? Where's Drew Aller?" I don't know. There's a lot of guys you could single out.
Whoa, easy now. What did they do to you? No, I mean it's been done where they win with 3 losses. It hasn't been done where they win with 6 losses. Drew Aller's team won't have 6 losses, but Drew Aller has 2 extremely big safety valves in Allen and Singleton. That, listen, man, if you want to give it to the quarterback on possibly the number 1 team, I get it. That's been done before, but I just don't. We don't trust Aller on this podcast. That's a waste of money, in my opinion. Jeremiah Smith, Wide receivers have only won it 6 times in the history. He's at 11-1, fourth best odds. Tough if you just go by history, but you'll have to think with new OC in there, they're definitely going to be getting him the ball a lot more. So 2 of the upper echelon guys, I'm just not sure if I'm willing to sprinkle it yet.
Yeah.
Natty wise, Ohio State repeat. Got to put money there. I'd be kicking myself if I didn't. This team, if all of a sudden we talk about, Texas should have the upper hand, a lot of new faces, still have the best dudes. I mean, they have 3 of the best top 5 players in the entire Big Ten, Styles, Downs, and Jeremiah Smith. If their quarterback race figures it out after Texas, they'll have a few weeks to really get the motor going, motor humming, and then a road win at Washington week 5 would really set up this team to have a lot of momentum. I'd just be kicking myself if I didn't have this, and then LSU, Oklahoma are my only other 2. Kansas State, Big 12 title, 6-1. That's my pick to win it. I think they're the best team in the Big 12. If you're giving me 6-1 and you check both those boxes, then I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I like the K-State pick. I think they'll be good this year. Oklahoma, though, you better check those odds, son.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 60-1. That's a typo. From you.
From me. Never take accountability over there.
Hey, I fixed your graphic, all right? I'm just always looking out for you.
Oh, you're holding the clipboard on this graphic. Nice.
Put me in, coach. I'm calling the plays from the sideline.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to be coordinator.
Yeah, I'm calling the plays from the sideline. Just like,
sir.
that was above the head. I was trying to fit it in my square.
What?
It was like a rumble above the head. I was trying to fit it in my square video there.
Fit it in. He keeps saying it.
All right. 50 minutes of futures should be. Can we give more than 51 or 54 units this year?
Yeah. Space is the limit.
Yeah, I'd say let's give 55 units this year. I think everyone earned it. How about that?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, this is always fun. I enjoy doing this. We're very close to the season, Burns. Literally single digits away from K-State, Iowa State, and Ireland. Let's freaking go. Come on.
Let's do it. And we will see you guys with next time you see us will be week 0 preview. How about that?
That sounds great. See you guys.
Bye. Love you.